Small Group Training. Today we're talking about personal risk and how to relieve the pressure of being new. Imagine a friend has brought you to their small group. There you meet 8 people whom you've never met. You're talking about God whom you're not so sure about. And you're going to do it through the Bible, which you've never read. The people seem nice enough. They seem to like each other quite a bit. When they get into a small group and they get into a circle, the leader opens the Bible and asks them to start answering some questions that seem a little deep. Then he turns and asks you questions that are really personal, and you're not so sure that you feel comfortable answering these questions with other people that you've never met. You're not sure that you're really interested in this. You're not sure that you even want to come back. Wait a minute, you say. I don't want to go to that group either. Now, my group is a friendly group, and it's not quite that hard. While it is true that I've probably over-exaggerated just a little bit the experiences of a new person, the reality is that people feel personal risk whenever they come to your group for the first time. As a matter of fact, you'll probably find that quite a few people who have been coming to your group for quite a while, from time to time, also feel a level of personal risk. Let's talk about personal risk. We're going to look at 2 of the most common risks that people feel coming to a group for the first time. The first is relational risk. This is the risk of feeling accepted or feeling a sense of belonging, welcomed. Now, this risk asks, will I matter in this group? The second risk is conversational risk. This is the risk of being involved in a conversation where you have to talk about serious things that are meaningful out loud with people that you know or that you don't know. Now, think about this for a minute. The number one fear that people have over and over, year after year, is the fear of public speaking. And while in your group they're not in front of a big group of people, they are in a group of people and they are speaking out loud. Many people feel a large amount of anxiety when they have to be the one that is speaking and others are listening. Now, if we look at ourselves closely, if we look at our groups closely, we'll find that these 2 personal risks not only make it difficult for somebody who's come to your group for the first time, but that these 2 personal risks are often what keeps a small group from entering into a meaningful and satisfying conversation that changes lives. So let's look at easing the pressures of personal risk. Number 1, and it sounds easy, but it's being intentional about relieving relational risks. By being intentional, making up your mind that you're going to be concerned with the way other people feel, you'll be aware of what's going on and how to meet needs. Number 2, learn the names of the new people in your group. Not only learn the names, but use them out loud during your small group discussion. If you do, you will find that by the end of the discussion, most of those people in your group will learn the new person's name. People like to hear their own name, and people feel more welcomed, they feel more meaningful by those who use their name. Number 3, learn the person's name and a little bit about them before the group starts. Once the group has come into a circle, introduce that person and say a few words about them. Now, never ask them to introduce themselves or never ask them to tell us a little bit about yourself. That puts people in a stage fright situation and increases the relational risk that they'll feel at the moment. But if you care enough to use their name, introduce them, say a few words about them to your group will warm up to them at a much faster pace, and they'll feel important. Now let's look at conversational risks. Number one, be the first to introduce yourself. People feel more at ease when you care enough to introduce yourself so that they don't have to be the first. Second, be clear up front at the start of your discussion that it is okay to pass on any question at any time. Number three, be intentional about using your icebreakers to start your small group discussions. This gives everybody a chance to speak and interact, maybe share some laughs without the pressure of having to get it right. It enables people to hear themselves out loud and feel good about having a conversation. It's a great way to open up the conversation to being more meaningful and allow the conversation to get serious without the pressures of conversational risk. When we're intentional about relieving the pressures of personal risk within our groups, we enable people to come in and hear the gospel and to be part of a meaningful conversation and build meaningful relationships. So let's be intentional. Hey, thanks for joining me.